Welcome to Burnt Out Perfectionist, the podcast where we embrace imperfection and create authenticity. I'm your host, Eve, and I'm here to guide you through your roller coaster ride of life alongside my co-host, Sara.
Hot Mess Express, ready to go.
So today is the first day of May. It's gonna be May. So we thought for season 2, we're 5 episodes in? We're more than 5 episodes.
It's like 14 episodes, but okay.
You can tell how much I read that. We're 14 episodes in, so are we almost? No, we're not halfway through the year because there's 52 months. 52 weeks. I'm so tired, apparently.
Okay, so just to give everybody insight, Eve has a wicked cold, and she's super tired.
She's doing her flu and the cold.
Oh, yeah.
I'm at the weird stage where you like try to sleep, but you can't sleep laying down because you cough too much. But if you sleep sitting up, you wake up and your nose is stuffed and your mouth's really dry. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Not a fan of it. So that is definitely my survive of the week, is trying to get over this dumb cold. Flu illness.
Oh, yeah. My kid also has the cold. But it's not like that cold that I had, where I ended up getting the ear infection after and I was like dying. I was full of man colding. But it's pretty it's like allergies meets cold.
I also have allergies.
Yeah.
But I think it's like, I don't know, I just don't have any energy to do anything. I just like randomly sound sick. It like when you feel your nose in the morning and you're like, so gross.
The worst is like when you blow your nose and you get that 2 seconds of relief and then you're like, oh, it's plugged again, but there's nothing in there.
Not a fan of that. Is that your stomach or was that your...
I think that was my stomach.
Good to know.
I don't think that was a bottom rumble, but a little rumble bottom.
And my thrive of the week, it's only Wednesday, is I'm getting Chinese food for dinner and I'm really excited.
Oh my God, we love Chinese food for dinner.
Sweet and sour pork is like my kryptonite. I love it so much.
My favorite thing is you were like, I just want sweet and sour.
No, Mom was like, how are you doing? And I was like, I'm craving for sweet and sour pork. It was like 10 p.m. And I was like, it's so bad. But I'm getting it for dinner tonight.
Nice.
What is your survive and thrive of the week?
My kid's sick, so she's been home. She's been like fine. Just like, like when you're sick, you're just like a little whiny, a little stuffy.
Yeah.
But she's like low energy. It's not like she's like jumping around with a stuffy nose. But I don't know. It's been pretty good. I've been just like fucking tired this week. My allergies are just like heinous. I was telling Eve before we started like recording that my nose is like spicy. It's like, it feels like hot and spicy. I take like 2 different types of allergy pills. I have nasal spray. I have all the stuff, and it's just popping off right now.
That's not fun.
No. And my thrive is, I was gonna say my survive is the fact that my bank dumped all their e-transfer information, and for the one time that I need to look at my e-transfer history due to issues, it was delayed. I had a delay with the government thing. And every single time I turn around, I'm like, I hate this. Because when you have these things come up, it's like 2.5 hours of dealing with it. And then it just fucking drains you for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, though. Whoever chose the hold music for Service Canada must be some amazing person who is obsessed with salsa music. Because it is catchy as fuck. And I'm not going to lie, I was outside with my headphones in, on hold, attempting to do probably the most mediocre cha-cha in the whole world with myself. I
like how you sounded like a contemporary song instead of salsa.
I know, but it was just like, I don't know. It was just, I was trying to make the best out of like a shitty situation. And the people weren't shitty who I was talking to. It was just the situation. It's like those things where the situation is just annoying. And you're like, why is this happening? Because I was an honest individual. That is why.
Such a pain in the ass.
Right.
So we thought for this week's episode, we'd have like a get to know us.
like get to know us or get to know us more than like maybe what you've learned in episodes and stuff like that, is I was telling Eve that I just chronically feel like I'm Sarah. I feel like I'm just like chronically presenting myself, I said to Eve, as just like Sarah, the millennial mom.
Oh, well, this kind of sparked, I would say, from like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, when one of the YouTubers that we both watched changed their name to some, like, it used to be very generic and like cute, and then it changed to like including mom. And I still love the YouTuber, but I sent a message to Sarah and I was just like, I understand that she is a mom. I am very happy that she's a mom. But, like, I feel like that I have, like, such a disconnect then, because I'm like, I'm not a mom, but I like watching them. And then once you put that on the title, that's all they really talk about is being a mom.
And the funny thing is I am a mom. And when stuff like that comes up, I'm not going to lie, most of the time I usually skip it because you know what? I don't want to, like, only focus on the fact that, like, I'm a mom. Like, I'll watch this YouTuber Carrie who goes thrifting because she's like mid-sized and she goes thrifting or tries different stuff on and everything. And I'll watch her. She's not a mom because like she's giving tips about that. Literally 2 videos of that YouTuber that we were just talking about and Carrie, very similar videos. And I didn't watch the other one because it was like, oh, these are like mom jeans that you can get. There's this. I'm like, why the fuck do I need to have mom jeans?
Like, I know. And it's like, I love watching, like, I watch a lot of people that have kids on YouTube, but it's just like, when it's like your whole existence is just like, hi, like for you, hi, my name is Sarah. I'm blank's mom.
And that's the whole thing is it's just like, for the first couple of years, like you're completely, because they're like so dependent on you,
yeah,
that you're like completely, you're in there, you're in the weeds of all of that. But like, I feel like once they go to school, you get like that time back. And if you haven't really established it before they hit kindergarten or preschool or whatever, you slowly start to be like, okay, like what is there more to me? Like, what was I like before? And the whole thing is like, most of the time maybe you were with your person for a significant amount of time before you had a kid, or with me, it wasn't super long, but we'd known each other for a long time. So it was just like, and I turned 30. Like, there was so many different things. And then I also left a job that I had been at for 10 years because of a voluntary departure program thing, which not upset about that at all. So there was just like so many things I was trying to like iron out about myself that like I kind of felt like lost. And then I felt like I was figuring that out. And then I found out like 95% of my personality traits, I feel like I'm just come up as an ADHD trait video. So
it's, and like, I'm not shitting on moms. Obviously Mother's Day is coming up, but my big thing is like, for anybody who makes one aspect of their personality, their whole personality, it just bugs me.
Well, and I said to Eva, I'm like, every day is Mother's Day. I'm a mom every day. And my kid tells me that she loves me all the time. And she also does the funniest thing where she like takes my phone, because I have that Colgate Magic toothbrush app on my phone.
Yeah.
For my kid. If you need a kid who needs to be incentivized or needs gamified things for stuff, I highly suggest it. But she does it and you like take a picture at the end. And then I watch like YouTube, like I watch like vlogs and stuff like that. So she literally took my phone and started like vlog. Then she'd be like, Mom, I love you so much. You know you're the best. I know you kind of look like a little tired today, but like I know how hard you work and blah, 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 and does that. And I'm like, that's fucking adorable. I love that.
Well, and like that's great. I find that too when people like, we were at an event surrounded by people, and the number one thing that I heard was, oh, it's great to get away from the kids. And I'm like, certain people were like, oh, like I'm glad to like have a night out and get dressed up. I'm like, it's totally different. The amount of times that I've heard in the past week from people saying, oh, well, I just want to get away from my children.
And I understand, like, I get it.
I completely understand needing a break.
Yeah.
But I feel like there is a way to face it that doesn't make it seem like your children are like these monsters that you need to get away from.
Oh, yeah. Like, I would, like, make a joke. Be like, oh, my God, I got to go to the grocery store. I smoked one time to get away. And Selena and I, like, race off to Superstore or whatever. But it wasn't like, fuck my life, I need to get rid of it. Like, if I ever get to that point, then I'm turning around looking at everybody and like, look it, I love you guys, but like, I'm frustrated as shit and we need to figure this out, because I don't even want to be here right now. As in, I do not want to physically be in this house right now. Yeah, and I've done that where I'm like running around doing all this stuff, and then somebody else, like say other people, just are doing stuff, and I'm like, can you guys like help me? And if I get ignored enough, then I'm like, oh yo, this is not happening.
Yeah, like that big part, just like, it always kind of like, well, you're more than that. You're more than just a mom.
Well, and they always laugh when I call in, like for her daycare, for example, like this week. I actually called in and said, hi, like my daughter's name will not be here today. Done, right? And then I'm like, oh fuck, did I call her in today? Oh, I used to be like, hi, it's blank, Charlie's, and blah, 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 blah. And they'd be like,
what is freaking up?
You can just say your name,
I'm
or you
Sarah,
can just say her
and
name.
we are
You
Burnt
don't have
Out
to say both of
Perfectionist.
them. And I was
We're
like,
so excited
okay.
to welcome you to season. I just need to double
And
clarify.
get ready for more laughter, more
No,
insight, and a
I don't
whole lot
know.
of real talk about
I feel like,
navigating
and
life's
it's not
roller
like a negative
coasters
context about
and
being a
pop
mom.
culture.
It's just
And,
like,
what's that thing
you are a
that we
mom,
have?
but you're more than a mom.
Uh,
Adios. We've got
like,
some
you know,
interesting
you
discussions
can
planned
do
for
more
this
things.
season.
So,
And this season we're
asked
hoping to have some
ChatGPT
incredible
some
surprises in
questions.
store. But
So
as
there's
you
kind of a
probably, if
combination
you've
of
ever listened to any of our episodes,
a bunch of different ones.
we just go on the train and follow
just
it to
have,
our
like, more
destination.
yeah, from like personal stories to views.
I don't know.
On
I just
things
like
that
more
are
of like
going
a
on in this
well-rounded instead of just
very
like a
interesting world
point
that we're in
blank.
at this time. And
Like,
diving
boom.
into
So discuss
topics
how being
that we have decided
from
to
different
hyper-focus
generations
on.
affects your perspectives
We're
on
tackling
life,
everything from
technology, and
self-discovery to
culture.
current events and adding our unique burnt out perfectionist twist, of course.
feel
So
like we should
please
base it
like,
with Sarah's
subscribe, and
millennial,
share.
I'm a Gen
We're
Z.
on
I was
Apple
born in
Podcasts,
86. I was
Spotify,
born in
YouTube,
01.
Instagram, TikTok,
Yeah.
Pinterest,
So
Threads. I mean,
I feel like you
kind
said
of.
86.
Is anybody
I feel
really
like I
on
needed
Threads?
to say 01.
X
That's
kind of
awesome.
same thing
That's
for
how it
us,
works,
which used
yeah.
to be Twitter.
Um,
Newly, Snapchat,
I
and
don't
of
know
course we have
different email.
Sis.
all around the
I
same
had to
as Burnt Out Perfectionist or
convert
Burnt Out
a lot
Perfectionist
for a lot
Pod.
of things.
Anything
Like,
that has
there's
our cover is
a lot
us.
of like
As of
learning
right now,
and
we
stuff
don't
like
have any
that.
fan
Went
pages,
from
but us we
being
do.
on we would do
Hi.
stuff just like paper and pen
And yeah,
to
let's take a journey.
a computer. Like
Yes.
when I started
So
college
basically,
in
what we mean is mark
2005,
calendars. hit that
literally every
subscribe
single time Mom and I went to like
and join us on
Superstore,
this
we'd
journey
grab
of
a pack of
season 2
paper
of
because it
Burnt
was
Out
on sale for like 10
Perfectionist.
cents or whatever.
I was going to say, call
So
your
that
mom.
way I had a bunch of
Call
paper.
your dad.
And then
Call your
literally I went to my
sister.
first class and
Please
everybody
like,
sat down, opened up their
subscribe,
computers. It was the
and
most
share
Elle Woods
to all of
moment
your
in my entire world.
friends.
Like
No,
where
we're
everybody sits
committed
there,
to
started
bringing
a
fresh
little
content
notepad and
every
everything,
week
and everyone
with
opens up their
breaks
computer.
only
And I
for
was like,
natural disasters
fuck.
and some holidays.
So I went and got
depending on
like,
how we feel.
some.
Because you know what?
I
Life's a
think it weighed
journey, and we're
20 pounds.
navigating it one
That computer I had with like
episode
the
at a
monarch butterfly
freaking
stick. Oh my
time.
god, it was so heavy.
Always stay
it was
wasn't it a Toshiba?
I was gonna say I think it was like a Toshiba because I was like, it was on sale. I think I paid like $500, which was a lot of fucking money at that time for a computer because I was like, oh, I'm so used to using Macs because all the schools that I went to had Macs in them because Apple used to have a program where they would supply stuff for like a discounted rate. And I'm just like, I had it. And then I remember I was like, and then they're like, okay, so when you're setting everything up, so make sure that you download your Word document. And I was like, the fuck is Word? So, and I was like, what? So again, 2005. So then I went and I got Microsoft Office for the first time. And I remember one of the classes I went to, they're like, yeah, so what you have to do is like, you'll be like building formulas. And I was like, what the fuck kind of spreadsheet is this? Like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever done. Like, I'd ever used like graph paper. So converting over to something like that was like so different. But then on the other hand, we had things like before social media that we have, your Facebook, your Instagram, your stuff like that. We had like instant messaging services. So there was like AOL chat. There was, I mean, like I had to wait to go on the internet. And if your sister really wanted to piss you off, because there's a sister between the two of us, they would pick up the phone when you were on the internet and would automatically disconnect it. Because it was like it was a phone modem.
Oh yeah, because it's dial-up internet.
Yeah, it was dial-up
like-
internet. We were one of the first people to have Shaw at home internet service, which was a coax internet service for the first time ever. And you didn't have to worry about it being dial-up. But like we had that. But I remember like signing on to the internet. It was like you would write down on a piece of paper everything you wanted to look up. But even when I was in high school, they would say that any resource that you found on the internet wasn't true, and you still had to look everything up and cite it from an encyclopedia. Because the internet was so new. Like, I want to say, like, Google came out when I was in high school.
Google came out in 1998.
Okay, so I was in grade 6. It was like grade 5, grade 6.
It's a random piece of trivia for some reason, I know.
I'm like, so, like, just think Google had just come out. But there was also, like YouTube videos that we used to watch are so bad when you look at them now. Like, not bad as in context, bad as in quality. Like, red versus blue. Freaking, what is that one? Like, and then they were like, WTF, mates.
Oh, BBC Radio, Talking Animals?
Yes. And then they had the whole thing. So freaking funny. But yeah, like there's all those things. And it was like, I never thought to like sit down, even when it was like nice outside. Yeah. We would watch TV, but like our parents didn't really subscribe to TV that often. So there were so many like free air channels you could just plug your TV in and get. So there's like little things like that. I mean, I went through, I don't know how many fucking versions of music and watching videos. I feel like there's so many in my lifetime. Like there was 8-tracks that people used for the longest time. Then there was cassettes. Then I remember when CDs came out, they tried to tell everybody they were indestructible. Bullshit. One little scratch. And then there was MP3 files. I forgot to close the door. She actually came down. Hi, Molly. MP3 files. And figuring out MP3 players and doing all that on a computer. And then there was, like, for videos, we had cassette tapes. Everyone's like, yeah, original. Then there was this thing called Laserdisc that came out. And you had to put the Laserdisc in, like, 5 different slots. And if you put it in the wrong order, then the movie would be completely out of order. And then there was, and then we had, like, Blu-ray and, like, ultraviolet, like, all those random ones came out after. And then it was, like, downloading stuff.
Oh, my God, so tired. So my perspective on how being a Gen Z affects my perspective on life, technology, and culture, I thought it was all the changes that have happened.
Well, I rambled for no reason.
No, that's okay. It was like in general of like how being from different generations affects our perspective.
Yeah.
I feel like, to me, and like, one, I hate when people generalize Gen Z and they generalize millennial. Like when I hear someone go with, to Gen Z, I immediately like,
no.
I feel like the time period of the early 2000s is like highlighters. It's like everybody, like the highlights, it was like there's like no thing that everybody needed.
Yeah.
Oh, I just meant like, it was like everybody needed the new thing and everybody was upgrading, so everybody needed the new thing.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's like, people are more like, well, I don't really need the newest thing, but I'm going to use other things.
I'm going to be totally honest. 90% of the things that people are upgrading are now all in our phones. Like cameras, video cameras, stuff like that. Yeah.
And I think that a lot of that, of like the upgrading and stuff like that, is now people are like losing what like you could look back on.
Yeah.
So like if you lose your phone and you don't have iCloud, you lose a bunch of like photos, but like back then it was like, oh, let's print off all these photos and like those types of things.
Yeah,
it's a lot more physical. Now everybody's like, how compact can I make it?
Yeah, it's like, I'll just stick it in a hard drive or something like that. And like, fun fact, external hard drives, like you need to check them every 5 years and like pull the files off and then put them back on, because like they're just known for dropping or corrupting stuff. Like there's so many, there's literally no secure way to actually keep stuff now, unless it's like physically printed. So like once a year, I didn't do it last year. I'm almost there because Costco changed their fucking printing system. But like I take all the pictures that like people send me or the school sends me and stuff like that. And I'll even include ones from like when we go out and do stuff, and I'll put them all in one book and be like, Charlie, grade blank. And then it has all the stuff in there. And I take the same picture every year. Her holding the sign with all her information, smiling, and then a picture of the back of her with her backpack on. So that way the front cover is that and the back cover is that.
Yeah. I think now too, like a lot of people are realizing that, like in my perspective, when, like, back then you guys would spend, I think you guys, because I wasn't really alive during that time, would spend a lot of time on, like, appearance and stuff like that. And now a lot more people are, like, not really caring.
It's not that they're not caring, it's they're caring about something else instead. So where my generation had an obsession with, like, the newest makeup trend or makeup brand or layers, yeah, fashion, I say in very, very large air quotations, or like who the newest like Starlet was and what YM magazine was saying, or Teen People or J14 was saying and stuff like that, and looking at all those posters and doing all that stuff. It's just like now you guys have social media where it kind of does the same type of thing. They're still into makeup, but it's more skincare, self-care based stuff versus like this. You have acne, fuck that, cover it in this thick ass freaking paint, like slop this shit all over your face, make your face completely blank, and then make it what you want it to be.
Well, exactly. And like, I don't know, that's the main thing that I think of. And like technology, I feel like like millennial time period had so many more steps, and now it's just like boop.
Oh, my favorite is when people are like, oh my God, I'm so happy that there was no social media when I was a kid because all the stupid shit people would see me do. And then they're also a mommy vlogger who's vlogging all the like crazy random things or just vlogging their kids all the time. And I'm like,
They're the kids.
I'm like, the irony in your statement that you're saying you're really happy that nobody saw all the shit that you did when you were a kid,
perfectionist.
and then you turn around and fucking post videos of your kid or making fun of your kid.
Laughter, more insight, and a whole lot of real talk about navigating life's roller coasters.
I don't know if somebody did this, which you may have a different relationship with your child. My kid was horrified.
We've got
she looked
some
at me
interesting
and she goes,
discussions
Mom,
planned for
did
this
you know
season.
that there's a trend on social media where people are cooking with their kids and then
have some incredible
smacking an egg on their head?
But as you probably,
I saw the cheese. I didn't see the egg.
You just go on the train and follow it to our destination
and see the reaction.
Yeah, from like personal stories to views on things that are going on in this.
Oh yeah, she's like people are
very
like smacking it down on their heads, and I was just like, and diving into, and she goes, I know you would never do that to me. I was so horrified
that we have decided.
And I was just like,
we're tackling everything from self-discovery to current events and adding our unique
raising my kid to be like overly sensitive about stuff.
Like,
she was
subscribe and share.
She either saw this, like her dad was like casually watching a video or something,
Pinterest,
or
Threads.
She heard this from somebody and she was like, what the hell is the matter with people? I'm like, I would never do that. First off,
Snapchat, and of course
I'm one of those people who took food safe and then
all
it's
around the
forever
same as
changed me.
Burnt Out Perfectionist or Burnt Out Perfectionist Pod.
And I'm like,
there
there's so much bacteria and random shit. You never fucking know. Also, ew, that's gross. And that's so disrespectful. Like, it's not a water balloon. A water balloon's different.
And yeah, let's take a journey.
I've never seen that. But I would never set up a
basically
camera.
What we mean is mark calendars,
smack my kid in the face with an egg. Anyways, there's my
and
random...
join us on this journey of season 2 of Burnt Out Perfectionist.
She was like, how young are the
I was going to say,
some of them are really little.
Call your dad.
So I looked it up after
call
she
your
went to sleep
sister.
because I didn't know what the fuck we was talking
subscribe, and
I was
share.
like, I'm
to all
sorry,
of your
I
friends.
did not watch this. And people are doing it. They're like, well, it's the same as like when our parents used to do blank. And I was like, yeah, but it wasn't. Nobody can find that.
Some holidays.
Now, like when Buddy's graduating,
because you know what, life's a journey, and we're navigating it one episode at a freaking time.
What the hell?
Always stay warped and twisted as ever.
Wow, this is like the stupid things that we used to do, and they used to put on like America's Funniest Home Videos. There's a whole thing about like putting a cucumber in front of your cat because they thought it was a snake. Seriously, if you put a cucumber in front of a cat, they go so weird. I'll take a mini cucumber and put it in front of Mr. Kitty today, and you'll be like, he'll be like, the fuck? And they like step back. But again, it's not technically harmful, and you're literally just laying a vegetable down on the ground, and you're not wasting food. In this economy, why are you smacking eggs on your kid's head?
Oh my God. And then I feel like the follow-up would be like, my kid got dirty today, I had to give them a bath.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't be smacking them on the head with eggs. I know. Well, there's like...
I just never seen that.
Like, neither had I. I looked at Charlie, I'm like, pardon me? I'm like, that's horrible. She's like, yeah, and then I looked it up after she went to sleep, and there are millions of videos. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Another big thing, I think, between us, like when it's stating like differences in technology and all the other stuff, is like I literally never knew what fucking time it was.
Oh my God. Are you coming out? Sarah can't read an analog.
No. I can't. Anyways. What I'm saying is like, I think I got my first watch when I was like 9 or 10 years old.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I didn't care and didn't know what time it was. Like, I knew that I was home and it was after school. And then I would tell like, oh, it's getting dark. I probably have to go to bed soon. Or it's getting dark. I better get home from playing with my friends. Like, it was always like.
You never looked at the floor?
No, and nobody like, I would be like, I'm going to so-and-so's house. I was never that person who just like disappeared and then came back when it was dark. I'm like, I'm going down the street to so-and-so's house or whatever and stuff like that. And sometimes the moms would be like, oh, she's here just to let you know. And then I'll let you know when she leaves or whatever. But it wasn't like you had to text or like know any of that stuff. Yeah. Society's like completely different now. And in fact, that probably wasn't even deemed safe at that time when I was doing it. But like, it was like you knew where everybody was because their bikes were all in the driveway. Or you knew it was the first hot day. So you were going to Derek's house because his mom was going to put the sprinkler under the trampoline.
That's fun.
Right? Except they have one of those rubber trampolines. So it was a little... I'm not going to lie. Derek broke his arm one year.
What is the best part about having a sister who's from a generation different from you, but shares the same condition?
I don't know, because I feel like you were born at the wrong time.
I would like to state that the best thing is I got the ball rolling.
Oh, for ADHD?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, you know, I think it was 1999 that they first started looking into females for ADHD. And then it wasn't until, like, I was halfway through high school that they were actually setting up long-term testing. So the long-term testing was concluded for the first long-term testing last year so they could have, like, some form of, like, sliding scale. And for anybody who just rolled their eyes, oh my God, they have ADHD. It's just such a trend. It's not a trend. There's just a lot of people who were not diagnosed, and there wasn't a lot of information out there. And sometimes, and not in our case with our parents, but in some cases, parents don't want their kids to be diagnosed because they think they'll be deemed as broken.
I would also like to state that I found out that there was a possibility of me having ADHD at the age of 15, 16, when I went to a sports medicine doctor because my knee, after I dove into an uncovered volleyball pole, wasn't healing properly. And in a span of 2 or 3 doctor's visits with this lovely gentleman, I was diagnosed with hemochromatosis, and I also have the journal notes that it said most likely has generalized anxiety disorder and ADHD, and I laughed at him and said I'd deal with it in 10 years.
Well, you didn't wait 10 years. Good job. It only took a whole pandemic to really rev that shit up.
Yeah. Describe a tradition or ritual that you both cherish and how it strengthens your bond.
Making sugar cookies at Christmas and decorating them in fun ways.
Oh, I was going to say dyeing your hair.
Oh, dyeing my hair? Yeah, well, we don't have to have the same thing.
I feel like it's not a tradition or a ritual. It's just like, usually it starts off with Sara and Eve to a random Pinterest board, and it's usually named hair. And everything happens to have the exact same color or the exact same haircut.
Yeah.
And she's like, doesn't say anything. I'm like, do you want your hair done? And she's like, oh, I was thinking.
Yeah. Not this paycheck, but the next one.
And she now has purple hair.
Yes, I do. Like all over purple hair.
Like purple.
Like purple.
What is one piece of advice you'd give siblings who also have ADHD?
Don't shit on yourself. And come with me on the lovely journey of learning how to unmask.
I would say don't compare your ADHD to your siblings' ADHD.
Oh, it's 100% different. You have a random hair on your face. There you go. That's gone now.
Yeah. I was like, I thought you were breathing me this.
No, it was like right here. And if you breathed in too hard, you were going to suck that in and choke on it.
Oh, probably. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
What is one goal or dream that you both share for the future, and how do you plan to achieve it despite the challenges of ADHD?
Overwhelm the label and burnt out perfectionist, becoming huge, bopping, amazing things that we can help a bunch of people and we can educate people on at least what we know of and provide fun, comfy clothing. I almost said cunty clothing. My nose plugged up. Like comfy clothing that's unique, but also like celebrates being neurodiverse as well as like other things. And just having a good time riding out those creative waves.
Mine would be, I would like to have a house with a hair salon in it.
Without going to hair school.
No, like I was talking to Sarah about this while I was dyeing her hair, and like I do it in the bathroom, and it hurts my back. As I would just love to have like a booth in my house with like a dog washing station also in there. Just be really great. That's the dream.
I had this like whole idea that it's in addition to another idea that I have with a friend, but is like I have a house. Eve has her own house. Our mom and our brother have their own house. And then we have this one house that's like in the middle, and it's like the community center. So it has like all the fun shit, and it has a podcast room, a gym, a pool, like a library. What am I forgetting? Like an office for like overwhelmed and just like having stuff. So there's like content areas with like drop downs and all the other stuff. And we could have like all that cool stuff, like playground, fun shit for Molly to do. And I think just like having that, so that way it's that place, but then you shut the door and then you go home and you have your house, which is fine.
Yeah. I feel like that middle house would change interior a lot.
It could, but also like it would just be like fun. Like say if Ben wanted to play like video games, like there would be like a room that he could go play video games in that room instead of taking up the front room television.
Oh, I don't think like a laundromat.
Yeah, just like that's what I mean. It's just like communal things. Like,
yeah.
So that way it's just like you can have your own washer dryer if you want. But I mean, if you have those giant fucking industrial strength ones, I mean, I'd have to do one load because there's so much fucking room.
Also, like all of the things that would end up like leaking, at least it's not in your actual house.
Yeah.
Because like I would still have like a home office.
What is freaking
like
up?
the kitchen, bathrooms.
I'm Sara, and we are Burnt Out Perfectionist.
We're so excited to welcome you to season,
but also like I have
and get ready for more laughter, more insight, and a whole lot of real talk about navigating life's roller coasters and pop culture. And
do you balance the demands of your career or being a mom? We've got some interesting discussions planned for this season. And this season we're hoping to have some incredible surprises in store. But as you probably,
from an outside perspective, everybody tells me I do really well.
We just go on the train and follow it to our destination.
State of chaos at all times.
From like personal stories to views on things that are going on in this
between the two
very interesting world that we're in at this time, and diving into
reminders and alarms
to topics
that we have decided, making sure that I read the newsletter every single time.
We're tackling everything from self-discovery to current events and adding our
every 2 weeks newsletter. Burnt Out Perfectionist. And at the beginning of every year,
like, subscribe, and share. We're on Apple Podcasts,
with all the
Spotify, YouTube, Instagram,
and I take all
TikTok,
those and I drop them into a
Threads.
sheet.
I mean,
I drop
kind
them
of.
all into the
Is anybody really on Threads?
Because they're random
X,
days
kind of same thing
that they
for us,
have
which
off,
used to be Twitter.
that I know that I'll know
Snapchat,
about because
and of course
my daughter
we
will come home and be like, I can't believe I don't have to go to school
all around the
Monday.
same as Burnt Out Perfectionist or Burnt Out Perfectionist.
But then there's these days
anything that
where
has our cover is us. As of right now, we don't have any fan pages, but if we do,
like before, my husband didn't really have a flexible job where he could go
and
get her. Now there's a higher chance of that happening.
Yes,
but it might be like
so. Basically, what we mean is mark calendars, hit that subscribe button.
I try to make sure
that this journey of season 2,
anytime that I'm with her,
I was going to say call your mom,
doing stuff,
call your dad,
and then
call your sister.
Anything,
please.
So like I'll just make sure that I kind of keep the same schedule
to all of your
friends.
We
get home.
No, we're committed to bringing fresh content every week with breaks only for natural disasters and some holidays.
And then I give her time to like decompress
you know what?
from the
Life's
world
a journey, and we're navigating it one episode at a freaking time.
And then
always stay warped and twisted as ever.
And then at about like 7, then I start like the routine, because that way, if you have your kid you have a kid who kind of drags their ass sometimes when they go to do stuff, or they take a little bit, I don't want to, and they go slowly, or it gives them time to like randomly tell you those stories that they want to tell you about that happened that week or that day. And then I get her into bed, and then I go upstairs, and then I literally will sit in the curling for like a solid hour, just like doom scrolling on my phone or watching something, like just making my life easy. And then I either go to bed or I get up and do like other things like pay bills or clean my kitchen or stuff like that. So I don't know if I have the perfect system, but what I have right now works. So far, no complaints from my customers. So, and my husband's there, but he's also tired. All he does is drive around and socialize with people.
True.
So sometimes he's just sitting there like, I'm tired. I'm like, I get it.
I'd say for me, it's a lot of, like, nobody who's not in healthcare will understand what it's like to be in healthcare.
No.
Because, like, I find that a lot of people will try to compare it to other things, and it's not, like, hard. Like, it's not hard, like, in general. I'd say, like, mentally it's more difficult than physically.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's like anyone. I truly believe that you cannot compare any job side by side with something else.
I think a lot of it too is like the perspective of like when people try to compare like healthcare and being an influencer. There's different ways to not doing your job. So if an influencer doesn't do their job, then that's not a huge deal. Maybe they don't get paid a lot.
Or they'll break a contract or something.
Yeah. But if a healthcare worker doesn't do their job, there's a lot more weight to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like a lot of it's just like I don't work full time anymore. When I first started, I worked like 6 days a week, which don't do that.
No.
And now I work like 4 to 5 days, depending. And I don't think it's like that bad. I don't know. I just like you leave it at the door.
I feel like it's a better balance. If you feel like you're chronic, like your days off, you're not getting enough time to like recuperate.
Yeah.
Then maybe you should look at either like reducing your hours or maybe something you need to change your career in general. And I think that's what you did is you kind of sat back and you were like, this isn't working. I need to find a better balance.
Yeah. Also, me and my coworker just send each other funny work memes all the time, and it's great.
Which is the best. Like, you have other people who can relate to it, because as much as we can relate to each other about a ton of things, I've never worked in a healthcare role, and I will never claim to know any way.
Yeah.
What it feels like.
I don't know. It's, like, weird to, like, have a balance, but it's, like, I don't know. Whenever someone asks me, like, oh, you work in healthcare, what do you think about this? And I'm like, I just don't care anymore.
Yeah, I just don't care, because hence my opinion doesn't work unless there's a vote, and if there's no vote, then I don't need to care.
Exactly. If you could plan a spontaneous adventure with your sister tomorrow, where would you go and what would you do?
Oh, easy. Girls with the traveling pants would go to Greece. Oh, I was like, hands down.
If I could like plan any sort of spontaneous adventure, I would be in a castle like Princess Diaries and ride the mattress slide.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
As well as eating a lot of chicken burgers.
Oh, canes. I want to try canes so badly.
Raising canes.
I mean, honestly, I'd be down for Disneyland. I'd be down for even just a spa day, but nobody can touch Eve.
Oh, I don't like my feet being touched. I don't like being touched in general. It might be the ADHD, might be the healthcare worker thing. When someone, like, I'm not a hugger, but, like, I'll hug people if they need it. And, like, obviously, but when someone walks up to you and they hug you, I'm like, please don't touch me.
I always feel, like, awkward.
Okay, I will raise your husband will hug me when my arms are down.
He does that?
And I feel like a freaking sausage casing.
No, I just feel like, I also know, like, sometimes I'm like, he's like, what? I'm like, I'm trapped. He's like, but I love you. And I was like, I know, but my hands are caught up my side and I can't move. There is no way that if something happens that I could touch you.
I know. I'm not a fan of that. If you were to rate each other's closets, what is one item of clothing you would definitely borrow and why?
Any pair of overalls that you have? I keep trying to find more overalls, and I cannot find any more. And I love them. I kind of like have one pair. I have 2 pairs.
What do you have 2?
I would go for your green British Columbia sweater
from Overwood the label.
Yeah, I need to order one.
And no, I love the green in that. The only reason why we kind of paused is because our wardrobes are very similar in a way, but not. What's something? Oh, I really like that one jacket that you have from Old Navy. The different shades of green. And the white. It had the thing. It almost looks a little funny on me because we're different proportions.
I like your quarter zip Banana label sweater. It's comfortable. It doesn't have anything on it, but
oh yeah, those like plain ones that I got.
Yeah,
those are pretty sweet.
And anything else we pretty much share.
I know. I was like, or I have it. Like, that's a cute vest. I'm gonna go buy it.
Yeah. What is the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to your sister, and how did she handle it? Or like, what's the most embarrassing thing that has happened to you?
I don't really get embarrassed because I do like stupid shit without even thinking about it, or like random shit happens to me all the time. Like, I'm that person who could walk past the fucking pointy object 20 million times, but then one day I walk past it and it rips my fucking leggings open. I learned when something happens, just like laugh at it and just take it as like the universe being like, calm the fuck down. And I'm like, oh shit, what did I need to do? I mean, like, I was editing an episode. I hate that fucking word. Editing an episode of the podcast, and I sat cross-legged at my desk downstairs for so long that my legs fell asleep. This was last summer. Mm-hmm. And I have a carpet runner in my hallway, and my husband had thrown down his gym shorts, which are slidey material. And so, reminder, my legs are already half asleep, and I slipped on his gym shorts and proceeded to skid on my one knee a solid 4 feet, and I still have scars on my knee from it, and it's still a completely different color because it's new skin, but like, that's just a normal day of my life.
Yeah, I don't really get embarrassed that often.
I literally don't get embarrassed. Like, I could bleed through my fucking pants and not even be embarrassed. I would just be like, so that's fucking life.
What is your go-to comfort food?
My go-to comfort food?
Yeah.
Well, it used to be macaroni and cheese. There's no comfort in that anymore. It's just diarrhea. Go-to comfort food. It used to be grilled cheese. Cheese as fuck. Cheese as fuck.
Mine is mushroom soup, pork chops, and rice.
That was my favorite thing forever.
I love that. Or tuna casserole.
Honestly, like, go-to, like, comfort food, ramen.
Oh, I love a good ramen.
Like, when I make ramen, though, like, I make it, so my husband says that he made it, he'd make it, and he would just, like, boil the water. He'd measure out the water. Fucking weirdo. He'd boil the water, and then he would put the soup mix in, and, like, boil it and take it out. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he's like, I made mine. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm like, man, this guy already cleaned out the pot. Like, good job. And then I like boil the noodles, drain the water.
What is
have the noodles
up?
like sitting
I'm
in
Sara,
like the sieve.
and we are Burnt Out Perfectionist. We're so excited to welcome you to season.
And get ready for more laughter, more insight, and a whole lot of real talk about navigating life's roller coasters and the same pop culture, some like sesame oil, and some like poison sauce.
We've got some interesting discussions planned for the season.
I'll describe
and this season we're hoping to have some incredible surprises in store. But as you probably, if you've ever listened to any of our episodes,
some ginger,
just go on the train and follow it to our destination.
Food section.
Yeah, from like personal stories to views on things that are going on in this very interesting world that we're in at this time, and diving into
because I don't want the soupy part. I just want the flavor.
Topics that we have decided
that's literally like on. I will do that. And
we're tackling everything from self-discovery to current events and adding our unique
Burnt Out
It is just an
Perfectionist
easy
with
thing.
quirks.
And then
So please
my husband was
subscribe, and
mind
share.
blown
We're on Apple
when I
Podcasts,
did that.
Spotify,
Another
YouTube,
fun thing,
Instagram,
which I know
TikTok,
like mom would hate
Pinterest,
it, but like
Threads.
just a little
I mean,
spoonful of peanut
kind
butter in
of.
there.
Is anybody really
A
on Threads?
little lime juice.
X, kind of
Mix
same
it
thing
up,
for
get some
us.
peanut
Which used to be
noodles.
Twitter.
It's delicious.
New
I
age
use
Snapchat,
the
and of course we have
Compliment,
email.
Spicy chicken mystery All around noodles
Oh,
from
the
same as
Freshco.
Burnt Out Perfectionist or Burnt Out
Oil 'em up.
Perfectionist Pod. Anything that
Drain
has
the
our
water.
cover is us.
Weirdos
As
who
of
don't
right now,
drain the
we
water.
don't have any fan
I
pages, but
use
if we do,
Ichiban. I like Ichiban.
Oh my god! Every time you say
and
Ichiban, I go
yeah,
lipstick for
let's
men.
take a journey.
Oh, that's
yes.
So
Joey
basically, what we
from
mean is
Friends.
mark calendars.
Oh yeah,
hit
every
that
single
subscribe
time I hear
button,
Ichiban,
and
they
join
used
us
to have
on
this
this
like
journey of season 2 of Burnt
Ichiban
Out
commercial in like the
Perfectionist.
90s.
I was gonna say, call your
And
mom, call
I
your
tried to
dad,
like learn it
call
so I
your
could
sister.
probably like really
Please
butcher
like, subscribe, and share
like the
to all
verbiage
of
that
your
was
friends.
used in it. But it was
No,
just like
we're
really
committed
funny.
to
And
bringing
then they
fresh
had this like
content every
sumo guy
week
who fell
with
off the
breaks
fence.
only for
It was like
natural disasters and some
Ichiban.
holidays. Depending on how we feel.
Because you know what? Life's a journey, and we're navigating it one episode
And it was like
at a freaking time.
Like so, I never understood the ending
Always
part
stay warped and twisted
or
as
like
ever.
how to say it, and then they would be like Ichiban, the instant noodles that you need, and I was like, oh my god, I love Ichiban.
I do love.
I tried those bulldog. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna butcher it because I don't know how to say it. But all of them are spicy as fuck, and I like spicy food. They are all spicy as fuck, and the non-spicy ones you can't find anywhere in Canada.
So I tried the cheesy carbonara.
Spicy cheesy chicken, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like cheese in my ramen.
Okay, so it's super common to like put cheese in your ramen. Another thing that I do is like if I'm not doing meat is I'll like fry an egg or like soft boil an egg and put it in with my ramen.
But why are we adding cheese? I don't know. Was not a fan of it. What is your sister's guilty pleasure TV show or movie that you secretly love?
Gilmore Girls.
Vanderpump Rules.
I don't know if I really hide that, to be totally honest. You don't really hide Gilmore Girls, but
No, and I only watch it like once every like couple of years.
yeah, me too.
Actually, my real guilty pleasure show is New Girl.
Oh, I love New Girl. I just randomly started rewatching it. Like when there's no one upstairs and there's no vlogs I can put on in the background.
I love Zoe Deschanel.
Oh,
So I will
right.
say that like if I had a bunch of money, I'd just run around in a wardrobe.
I'd be like, Zoe, can you come pick up my clothes up for me?
And she just seems like, and her sister is Bones from Bones.
I know, like that whole family is just like my 100% vibe. Like I just love them.
If your sister could trade places with a fictional character for a day, who would she choose and why?
Did you just say Jessica Day before the question came up? A fictional character for a day.
Let's do cartoon.
Cartoons. I say for me or I say for you.
Either way. Guess what one I'm thinking of?
For you or for me?
For me.
For you?
Who do you think I want to turn
Cartoon. One of the Totally Spies.
I feel like you think that I like the show a lot more than I did.
You, when you were little, you loved it. Ooh, you also loved Wings Club.
Oh, I was a huge fan. Honestly, to be completely honest, Ladybug.
You'd be Ladybug for
Right,
Ladybug
Lady-
Cat Noir. Dude, so funny. So, like, similar but adjacent. I would be Kim Possible.
I thought about that, and then I was like, she wears a crop top.
Oh, yeah, but I would be Kim Possible.
Oh, I want to be She-Go.
Oh, shit.
Just somebody fun. For you...
Or a Power Ranger. I'm not gonna lie.
Would also want to be a Power Ranger. No person. Like real people show.
A real people show? Yeah. Okay, when I was younger, I would have said I wanted to be Brooke in One Tree Hill, and then I rewatched that show, and I'm like, Lord fucking no. I do love Peyton. She's a little more emo, but all the random shit that happened to her, yeah, I be Peyton, yeah.
I would say Mia from Ralph the Lesser Dolly. Prince. Oh my god. If that's not true,
I was Genovia.
get off the curse.
Beautiful. When I can't remember what it is. It's like, get off the grass. Tilidino.
And it's like, what? Describe your sister's signature dance move.
Oh, the awkward face.
Oh, I can do it. It's usually either the like hands mid-range, and then she just goes back and forth, and then she goes,
Oh, I thought you were going to say, like,
Or you just jump up and down and spin. That's
You?
kind of my go. Woo!
Use my arm up.
Yes.
Mine's usually like the old man with like my arms stuck at my sides, and I just move my hips.
I know. I was like, you do the same jumping motions, but you put no arms in the air, like you just don't care.
That was because the thing that we were at, I was scared my boobs were gonna fall out.
You were totally fine.
What is the funniest lie you've ever told?
I can't lie.
So out of all of us, I can probably lie the best, I'd say.
Sometimes your like corner of your mouth will start to go up, or you'll be like, I'm being logical, and I'm like, why is she acting so weird? She's overcompensating.
So one time, Sarah purchased our middle sister the naked palette
Yes.
for Christmas, and our sister went off and bought it, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? And she was like, oh my God, Sarah's so mad at me, and I convinced her that you returned it.
Oh yeah, which I had no idea about.
Because she hadn't touched it. And literally, I held my face so stern, and I made our sister feel so bad that I was like, she's never going to buy it for you because this is how disrespectful you are about her possessions. Mind you, I was like 8.
I know.
8 or 9. And opening up on Christmas time, and this girl was like, are you kidding me? And Sarah was like, aren't you excited? She goes, you lied to me.
Spent $50 on a freaking Urban Decay palette, and I was like, really? She's gonna yell at Eve?
But I just spent money on that, and she wanted it so bad. What is the... We don't get in arguments.
No, we don't. If you're grumpy, if you're like, oh my God, blah, 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 I either just don't say anything because I'm like, she's hungry, she has a shitty day, whatever. Or I go, what's up your asshole?
I usually get angry when I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm very hangry. I'm such a hangry person that our mom bought me a fucking picture. That's just the definition of hangry that I have in my...
I feel like when you're really angry, I'm usually just like, what did your husband do?
Yeah. Everything when I'm hungry.
Or I usually go, fine, I'm just gonna go to bed. And you're like, why?
Wait.
If your sister could have a job in the world for 1 week, what would she choose?
A job for 1 week?
Like a random job. What would be like a job that I want to do for like a week?
I don't know. Would you want to be a YouTuber?
God, no. I just need to go to the camera.
Like you would take the money.
So take the money. I see you gold digger.
Party planner?
Yeah. That'd be party planner for me. I feel like I would say, being a part of the preparations for a new cartoon.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I feel like that'd be, yeah.
I don't know how to do any of that shit, but that would be fun. I just realized I have 3 earrings in one ear and 2 earrings in the other ear. I don't know how long it's been like that for. I remember I had a hard time putting it in like 2 weeks ago, and I just think I never did it again.
Describe your sister's most embarrassing or ridiculous childhood fashion trend or style phase.
I wore 3 tank tops at the same time.
Yeah.
I have a picture of Eve, but she was fucking adorable.
Oh my God. Red Hawaiian tank top, pink and green tutu. My hair was in a bun, and I had earless gloves that were black and pink.
Something like that.
And I was wearing jeans.
Yeah.
For you, I would say statement necklaces.
Oh my God, why were those such a thing?
But so Sarah's so pale that like they were like, obviously they're costume jewelry. Every time she would wear one, like the next day, she would have green in the shape of the one that she wore the day prior. And then she'd be like, oh my God, I just love this statement necklace. And those things were heavy.
Okay, they were heavy and they were loud.
And like, some of them were like big beads and stuff like that. I don't know.
Like you would wear like a very plain shirt and then put just like this like ridiculously huge. We looked like we were all about to go to the casino. We were like very fashionable old ladies, but we were going to a club dressed in half business wear. It just made no sense.
Yeah. Like, when people are like, skinny jeans are a no, and those type of things,
What is
no, I don't
freaking
care
up?
about those.
I mean,
the pure
I'm Sarah,
uncomfortableness of wearing
and we are
three
Burnt Out Perfectionist.
we're so excited to welcome you to
season,
as well as, like, a huge
and
statement
get ready
necklace.
for
But you
more
had to buy
laughter,
them in
more
3 different
insight, and a
sizes.
whole lot of
So
real
if it was
talk
going to be a
about
bottom
navigating
layer
life's
cake, it
roller
had to be a
coasters
large, and the other
pop
medium, so that way they would
culture
layer up
and,
properly.
what's
If
that
not,
thing
then you
that we
wouldn't see
have?
them.
Ideas.
There
We've
was like a
got
whole like
some
thing
interesting
you had to figure
discussions
out
planned
behind
for
it.
this season.
I know.
And
That
this
is
season
and I don't even know why it was so well brought.
has
There
some
was so much
incredible
support.
surprises in store. But
half of
as
them
you
already had
probably,
those like
if you've ever
bra
listened
shelves
to any
in
of
them.
our episodes,
Yeah.
we just go on the train and follow
describe
it
your
to our
sister's most
destination.
irrational
Yeah,
fear.
from like personal
Clowns.
stories to views on things that are
fucking
going
hate
on in
clowns.
this
Or
very interesting world that we're
Cotton
in
balls.
at this time.
Oh my
and
God,
diving
I
into
hate cotton
topic-
balls.
to
the look
topic-
on my
to
face when I
topics.
just
And I
that
literally
we've
have decided
one of those
to hyperfocus on.
I had that ear infection. I
We're
had to put
tackling
eardrops in my
everything
ear.
from self-discovery to
And the
current
pharmacist
events
looks at
and
me. She's
adding
like,
our
"So you're gonna
unique
put the eardrops in your
Burnt
ear?
Out Perfectionist
Wait
twist
15
of
minutes,
course.
and then
So
roll over on
please
your
like,
side. But before you do
subscribe,
that,
and
you have to
share.
put a cotton
We're
ball in
on
your ear." And I
Apple
went, "No."
Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube,
Just all
Instagram,
I came out,
TikTok,
no.
Pinterest.
She goes,
Threads. I
I
mean,
beg your pardon.
kind of.
No.
Is anybody
I will
really
not
on
be using
Threads?
cotton balls. What else can I use?
X, kind
I
of
should
same
put
thing for
Kleenex
us.
in there.
Which
Should I
used
do
to be
this?
Twitter.
No, you
Newly,
have to use a cotton
Snapchat,
ball.
and of course we have
Why?
email.
What? I don't like cotton
all
balls.
around the
And she's
same
like,
as Burnt Out
"Well,
Perfectionist
Sarah,
or
you
Burnt
have to
Out
be a big
Perfectionist
girl
Pod.
at
Anything that has our
37
cover is us.
and
As
put
of
the
right now,
cotton
we
ball in
don't
your
have any
ear
fan
unless you
pages,
want to be
but if
deaf."
we
And
do,
I was like,
hi.
Hi.
meanwhile, I'm doing it, and my husband's
and
like,
yeah,
"Oh my God,
let's take a journey.
can you hear it?"
Yes.
I'm like, "Yes, I can." He's like, "Can
So
you feel
basically,
it?"
what
I'm
we
like,
mean
"Oh my
is
God, you're
mark
not
calendars,
helping."
hit that subscribe button, and join us on this journey of
You
season
also
2
do
of
not
Burnt
like
Out
cotton balls.
Perfectionist.
No,
I was gonna say, call your
where are the
mom,
cotton balls in your house?
Call
Can
your
you keep your
dad.
nail polish off?
call your sister.
Okay, I
Please
use a reusable
like, subscribe,
makeup wipe.
and share
I don't care about
to
cotton
all
balls.
of your friends.
Oh, you're irrational fear.
No, we're committed to bringing fresh
Not
content every
spiders.
week,
I
with
had
breaks
rend
only
and
for
scurry.
natural
That
disasters
don't bother me.
and some holidays,
Fear.
depending on how we feel.
Because you know
I
what? Life's a
honestly think
journey,
your
and we're
face is, like,
navigating it
dropping.
one
I was like, I honestly can't
episode
think of
at a
anything that Eve is
freaking
afraid
time.
of.
Oh, you're afraid of heights.
Always stay warped and
yeah.
twisted as ever.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh my God. I had to think about that. So just for a little background context, there's a chimney, and our dad had a whole system on how to clean the chimney. And Eve was like, "I'm going to learn how to do this." And she goes up, and then I noticed about halfway up the ladder, she like stopped. And then she like went really pale, and then she kept climbing, but she looked really fucking terrified. And I'm literally at the bottom of the ladder going, why don't I just go up? Because I have zero fear of heights at all. And just the look on her face as she's walking over, she's like, "Oh my God." And then she said, "Shut the fuck up." Every single time I offered to do it, "Shut the fuck up." I'm like, okay.
I think for me, I'm not afraid of I'm afraid of heights if there's not a railing. If that makes sense. Like I can walk across a bridge that's really high up. Don't care. I can but like we did that like rope course, and like I knew my high school principal for a really long time. And he was like, "Eve, here you go," and put me on one. And I was like, "Oh, okay, like this is apparently the easiest one." Yeah, he put me on the hardest one, and I was 30 feet in the air. And I fully had a panic attack in the middle of a rope spider thing.
Yeah. I can't believe that took me that long to remember that. I was like, I feel like you don't have a lot of fears. I'm like, wait, there's something nagging in the back of my brain.
Yeah, but like I'm not afraid of it in cars or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like if I'm up and suspended in air and don't have a railing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rest of them, not really. Like clowns I can get over with.
I can get over with, but I'm like scared, and it's like scared and then rage, like when I'm scared.
Yeah.
Like I had one like come up to me, and I was just like, "No, I don't like clowns. Please go away." And then he like kept coming in my face, so naturally I kicked him in the knee.
Yeah. Like I don't
No,
have
my
fear
God.
of like horror movies or anything like that.
No, I watch horror movies all the time with the lights on
In the heights.
and it's dark as fuck outside.
Yeah. That was actually a question at work. Like we have this like nice like pool thing, and everybody was like, "Oh, it was like the dark, failure, anonymity."
I'm not even afraid of the dark, but I have that weird like thing that when you turn off the lights downstairs and you're going upstairs, like run.
Demons chasing.
Yeah, you're like, ah. But that's the whole thing is, and I also have that when I'm doing the opposite, when I turn off all the lights upstairs and I'm going downstairs. Every once in a while, not that much anymore, but I'll turn off all the lights and then I'll walk down with like the flashlight on my phone, which is really funny because if my husband doesn't know I'm doing that, then he's like, "The fuck is that light?" And then it's like the light goes in his face.
But I hope you liked this get to know.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode of Burnt Out Perfectionist as much as we enjoyed creating it. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends who might need a dose of authenticity and humor. Connect with us on most and all social media platforms. And you can see some behind the scenes content, updates, and random things that I decide to do it. So stay true to yourself, and we'll catch up with you in the next episode. And don't forget to stay as warped and twisted as ever. Peace.